Wow. Oh, there we are. We're live. Hey, folks. Thanks for tuning in to Savage BAMF. And this is my guest, Brandon from Star Anvil. How you doing, sir?
Fantastic.
All right. I appreciate you being here. Before we get too started, I am contractually obligated to play this musical intro. So just 1 second. And that delightful musical intro assures you, gentle listener, gentle viewer, that this is a high quality podcast. Only the finest production values, ethically sourced, farm to table, geeky conversation for your podcast listening pleasure. And today we have the pleasure of talking to Brandon about the print edition of The Secret World for Savage Worlds. Real quick, let me get out of the way. There's a tiny URL we have made up that gets you right to Kickstarter because I'm a consummate professional. I created this a few minutes ago. tinyurl.com/secretworldprint. We'll take you right there. Brandon, very nice to have you on the show again. How are you doing, sir?
I'm, as always, fantastic, of course.
Okay, cool. Congratulations on your very successful Kickstarter. You have doubled your goal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's not a bad place to be.
No, that's not bad at all. All right, so let's pretend there's someone tuning into the podcast, and I see we do have some viewers. Hey, guys. What is the Secret World? This looks interesting, but I don't know anything about it. I didn't play the old game, so what is this, and why do I want to get it? What's your elevator pitch on that?
So, Secret World is really that. I mean, the best thing that you always say about the Secret World is their tagline, which is everything is true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, conspiracy theories, cryptids, secret societies in a modern world, cosmic horror. I mean, it's that whole. You could, imagine your town could be in the Secret World because it's not that far removed from the real world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously the monsters, at least we hope they are removed from the real world,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not incredibly hard to imagine that. So you're playing in something familiar, and then you add those darker secret elements into the world. So it's a really fun place to play, especially if you know, the some of the lore and legends of your city, your region, whatever. It can really add to it, make it more come to life for your players. Like, is it in Colorado? Has Lucifer
At the airport? Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's, things like that these common legends and stuff you can just bring in, really make that people connect to it more easily than say some of the sci-fi or fantasy settings for many people.
Yeah, the Denver airport has got lots of conspiracy theories about a New World Order having a secret headquarters underneath it. And there's a couple weird art installation pieces where you're walking down a hallway and you're just hearing Native American flute music playing, and there's not really any explanation as to why that's happening in that hallway. And,
makes perfect sense.
Anyway, not to get off, so there's a lot of weird things at the airport. But all right, so this is a setting where you can have Illuminati next to Sasquatch, next to the New World Order.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of weird stuff happening in one place. This was a successful video game, and you guys kickstarted this, I want to say, last year for Savage Worlds, and it was a big success. And we're coming back. We're doing it again, and this is for an offset print run, correct?
Yeah. So when we first started doing back when we did the Secret World the very first time was 5e, and then we decided to do Savage Worlds. I think it's closer to 2 years now from time of Kickstarter to actual delivery and the current date. But I mean, from all that. And that is, we just didn't feel comfortable doing print runs. The knowledge, the people weren't in place, and we wanted to make sure we could deliver everything then, so we went print on demand. The thing about print on demand is, well, it's a great option for smaller publishers. It gives us a way to get our books out. I would never put it down as far as it works, and will still work for us for other projects. But we have a large enough audience, I think, for the Secret World that we want to get those books printed in stores, or we want the nicer paper. We want to maybe put a bookmark in, and the stuff that just makes for a nicer book, and it'll hold the ink better, so the color's brighter, or especially with a lot of the dark imagery, it's just going to allow us to make the book a little better. As far as the quality of the book, it just steps it up a notch.
Yeah, not to drive the point home too much, but yeah, you guys do have some beautiful art. Just looking at the cover right here, and yeah, this is some amazing work. Who are your artists, by the way?
Well, a lot of the art in the Secret World book as it is was actually Funcom concept art that they gave us.
Oh, okay.
No, I couldn't. Honestly, we don't have the list of who each and every artist was. They never really gave us that, so a lot of art is not from there. But there is the character art for some specific character art we did at one point in time, some small like the Revenant image, which is fairly large in there. That was done by Annie Ghosh, who does stuff for Pinnacle now as well, among other Titan Effect and other games he's done for.
Awesome. Yeah, and here's some of the archetypes art.
Yep.
Yeah, just driving the point home. It's really a beautiful book. You're not going to be sorry to have this on your shelf.
One of the other changes we're going to make to the book, if you scroll down like one more page, you see that text right there. Text. We're spacing it out a little bit more, so the text has a little more to breathe. So in those larger sections where there's big blocks of text, it just kind of runs together. That's another thing we're changing to put a little space in between those paragraphs. So just things to make it easier to read when you're reading those like large text block pages.
Okay, cool. That makes sense. Well, let's take a look back at the Kickstarter. Give me 1 second. I noticed this is actually pretty affordable. Like if someone was just finding out the Secret World, want to check it out, your entry-level buy-in is pretty low. It's just $15 for the PDF, which is a pretty good deal.
Yeah. We wanted to just, if you just want to get a taste, I mean, there you go.
Yeah. There's all kinds of swag available here. I'm seeing, poker chips. I'm seeing custom dice. Can you tell,
So the things we're offering right there is, obviously we have the book itself, and we have the alternate cover for the book. If you want that little extra nice thing that some people like, the honeycomb symbol is important in the game. It represents the voice of Gaia, the thing that kind of speaks to you, guides you. There's a lot more to it, but we could talk about that, just that, if that's all we talked about. And then we have like the faction pins that represent the different. Those are the 3 main factions right there: the Templar, the Dragon, and the Illuminati. And then again, you'll see repeating the honeycomb pin as well, again, because it is important to the players. It shows up as like the quest type thing a lot of times in the game.
Archetype cards, conduit cards.
So the archetype cards, pretty obvious what they are. It's if you're familiar with Savage World, it's basically your quick, ready to play character sheet. The conduit cards are a little thing we added because of the way the Secret World worked as a video game. We wanted to find a way to make that workable for players that wasn't like, we don't want to simulate the video game. We want to make it easier. So when you start off as a character, let's say you have a sword and you have a shotgun. Those are conduits for your power. Like when your shotgun fires a mystical power, it looks like it may be a bullet to everyone else, but it does things. It can hit harder, it can explode, whatever the case may be. I'm kind of running through it, but you have a set of powers you get. And the way Savage Worlds normally works, you have to pick this power, that power as you go up. But what happens when you have a conduit, you automatically get a set of powers on that conduit. And when you hit the right rank, you have access to all the powers under that rank. So you start off with 2, and when you get your advancement, instead you just get to pick 2 more conduits. The thing is, you can only ever use 2 at once, and you have to have the requisite weapon. But if you switch them out, you now have those new powers. So the cards are just a quick reference because it's kind of handy at the table to say, oh, here's the 4 I've got. Well, I'm using these 2 right now. I can look and have my reference. You didn't want to try and write all that down onto a single card, especially since you can swap them out. It didn't make sense. So the conduit cards was kind of our answer to make that easy to reference when you switch your weapons out or your abilities.
Yeah, like you say, some play aid at the table makes things fast and easy. Sounds like a good idea. Threat cards. Oh, well, this looks like fun.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a deck of, sorry, you go ahead, sir.
Yep, that art right there, all that art was done by, almost all the monster art was done by our artists. A lot of that was done by Annie Ghosh, and Ron Root did a lot of the art for that.
This Draug, am I saying that right? Behemoth?
Yep.
Oh, God, that looks awful. That is frightening, sir.
The Draug are some of the first monsters you encounter in the game. They're the most iconic to me because that's where I spent most of my time playing the game. As they come out of the water, you're fighting them left and right. And, the Revenant you kind of encounter in your early on too, which is a pretty dark and, creepy kind of monster.
That is cool stuff. All right, so quick reference, easy to use, 50 villain cards, makes life easier for your GM. An action deck. This is a cool thing.
Yep, just and everything's going to be the 3.5 by 5 inch size, or very, maybe not exact to the millimeter, but roughly the same size. If people familiar with Savage World stuff, so it'll be, able to fit that same overall product. If you can store the same as you do your other products. It's another thing we wanted to do that we could not easily accomplish with drive-through on demand, a drive-through RPG, unfortunately.
Now help me out on the aces here. We've got the Dragon, the Illuminati, Templars. What is the ace of clubs here?
That's an Orochi. They are they're a big corporation is the easiest way to put it. Many companies
Okay.
under their umbrella.
All right. Cool. Figure ponds. Okay, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So,
obviously, just a mock-up for now till we get the actual ones printed out, but it gives you the idea what they'll be like.
Yeah. Poster maps. Oh, wow, those are beautiful.
Yeah, there's basically like a map for each base for the players to kind of like depending what faction they're with to kind of give them some a thematic thing to work from or what have you.
Okay. And of course, the wild dice you mentioned before, conviction dice. Oh, metal dice. That's nice.
Yeah, so fortunately, just before we launched, we saw what Pinnacle did with conviction tokens, turned into conviction dice instead. We're like, that makes so much more sense. We just said, why be different? I mean, it works. It's cool. It's actually more functional. And so I was like, the perfect thing to do that would be with the metal dice, and so that's what we opted for. We got that just in time to make that decision before the launch.
All right, that is pretty cool. Benny's. Okay, everyone was Secret World VTT. Awesome for Foundry.
That's an add-on. It's the only thing that's automatically included with is the biggest package. I believe everyone else can add it on, but we have it for Foundry, and it's available for Fantasy Grounds too. We just don't have the option to easily add that. So either or.
Now this is interesting. You get an audio drama included as a digital owner award.
2 audio dramas.
Dude, tell me about that.
So those were done. Charlie, I just want to call him Spiker, but Charlie did those for us, and they're just short stories that kind of give you the flavor of the setting. Kind of let you feel what it's like to be in that world. One is taking up the mantle. Taking up the mantle is literally a person like realizing it's time for them to take up like their father's place in the conspiracy, so to speak, kind of come into that. And what's hiding under Danny's bed is something of a really kind of a horrible story. What's bad is going on there, and you figure it out. But I don't want to spoil it for anyone who wants to listen to it. But yeah, it gives you a good bit of the terror of the world too, in a certain way. They're all very small stories. You don't have like a broad, whole bunch of characters. They're short and they're easy to digest, but definitely give you if you didn't know what the setting was like, it'll give you a good idea.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of audio dramas. That's very interesting. That is a cool thing. All right, I think we covered. That's most of the rewards. So that looks like cool stuff. Well,
We
hey,
did a couple stretch goals already.
okay. Where you at on stretch goals?
Well, it's higher up.
There we go.
Yeah,
we've
got so now we've added the other 3 factions as the dice. So instead of a set of 3, it's a set of 6 dice now.
Okay.
So you have 1 for every faction. Same with the pins. We added those other factions to the pins. So instead of getting 3 pins for that, you get 6. So if you add it on, or if you have it already part of it, you get those as well. So that doubled both of those.
All right. So we have the Phoenicians, Council of Venice, and the Orochi. We talked about, and 50,000, which I'm pretty sure you're going to make in the next week or so. Faction bennies. So that's cool.
We've already got the factions. We're just adding the faces in that one. We're just kind of the one we'd really love to hit is the 60,000 and write that extra thing like how to turn your town into the secret world.
That is is that just like a GM advice chapter, or what's that going to be?
That's really what it would be, is tips on how to make the town more like that. What how you would flavor that and give you ideas to do so.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool. So, all right. So this has been kind of a long journey for you. You've spent a lot of time with this IP. Well, how's your perspective on it changed? From 5e to Savage Worlds, and then revisiting it with this print edition now.
Well, the interesting thing was when we first launched it, we were like, the safe bet is generally going to be 5e. Whether people like that or not, there's a larger audience, a better chance to succeed when you launch a project. And, we want people to they'll play the game the way they like. So we went with the safer choice, and we thought that would be our number one seller. And then I love Savage World. So I thought, well, also do that. So we're going to support both. But strangely, since we put it up for sale, 3-1, it's outsells Savage Worlds all the time, more than 5e. Part of that's probably the circles I travel in. I'm mostly a Savage Worlds guy, and who knows what other reasons. But so that was a bit of a surprise that I didn't expect. I thought, hey, we do okay with this and do well with that. And then as far as anything else goes, I think between the two, really, it's just a matter of preference. I haven't really changed much of opinion either or. It's easier for me to do Savage World stuff. I have a better familiarity with it. I have someone who really good does the 5e stuff for us and runs that.
Hey, I just got a question from a prospective backer. You mind if I put it up on the screen?
Sure.
A guy named Shrike7. Hey, Shrike, thanks for watching. I do not see a way to add on the BTT to a lower pledge. Is there a plan to add that later, or will it only be available with the largest pledge?
It should be available. I mean, it depends what pledge you're pledging at. I mean, I think it should be available at anything. If it's not, I'll check and see if I've maybe configured something incorrectly. I'll do that when I get done with the show. If you're still having an issue, you can always email me at, Star Anvil Studios at gmail.com and say, I still have a problem. And I'll, so I don't forget, but I will take a look at that as soon as I get off tonight.
Okay, cool.
And see where it's, what's going on with that.
Sweet. All right. Thanks for that, Shrike7. Appreciate it. So, you mind if I walk through the bestiary a little bit? Because there's some cool stuff in here. And he says that's going to be in the add-on list. Yeah, thanks for the answer. Cheers.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that.
Cool. Yeah, like I said, beautiful art. But oh my God, look at this guy. This the ACAB Queen. Good Lord, I don't know what I'm looking at there, but I kind of want to fight it.
Yeah, they're ugly. I'm better off. I really like going, if you scroll down like some of the others, like I like all of them a little bit, but like if you go to, well, I guess the other way I should say, scroll up, I guess is the right way to go. No, that's the opposite. I'm wrong. I'm telling you to go the wrong way.
No worries.
There you go. Yeah. Some of these were like one-off creatures that we added based on lore and myth and stuff we found, and the write-up that kind of explains what they are. Just to do something different. He's a character in the setting there. Again, some of the characters, my memory of them from when I played is not as good as others. That was one we added based on some myth we found and added it to the game. I think that one was drawn by Ron, but was colored by Annie. And you're typically, click that one right there. You think the black-eyed children.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, and that's the whole point, isn't it? That you just see that weird looking kid who just stares at you. Children of the corn kind of thing.
That is pretty. Oh, check this out. Wow. What do we have here? This is the you have to pronounce it for me there, boss.
Believe that one's French, and I couldn't pronounce it if I had to, so we have to look it up.
I do remember hearing that. I have read that story before. The Beast of, let's say, Gabondon.
Yeah.
I never knew how to pronounce it, but yeah, God, look at the.
Chupacabra, of course. Yeah.
Caldea, we saw this guy before. That is a fearsome mummy picture.
Yeah, there's a large part of the game that is in Egypt, and so we're. One of the things we're going to do, you'll notice in here, or you may not have noticed, depends where you look at. Some of these, there's a couple of creatures that don't really have their own piece of art for them. And when we're getting the book redone, we're going to make sure every single entry has its own art. And so that will also again change shrink that a little bit, get the text that are more, give the individual creatures their own art. There's more drog and stuff on the next ones there, and that's the
deep
ones.
Yeah.
And then you got the
more
of the drog, that they're all bloated, dead sea, disgusting seaweed covered, horrific things to run into. We had the video game's not very good at purposely doesn't really care about covering stuff. We strategically placed some seaweed to help cover some of the art up a little better.
That's fair. It's for sale in a family game store, for instance.
We're the video game obviously is the video game, and in the book we just placed some seaweed at some strategic locations. The filth is interesting because the simple way to describe it without getting into the whole details of the game is the dreaming ones, the things that are kind of trying to destroy our world in a sense, put their view of what that's what they think a bird looks like.
Yeesh. Okay.
Yeah, so it's weird. He's commonly referred to as Flappy.
Hey Flappy.
Yeah, he's not very friendly though.
And yikes.
Yep, filth hound.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing, like the filth. I think the filth spider doesn't have art. Filth humans don't. We didn't have. appropriate art. So we're going to add some of that in there too to really again fill it out.
So this is going to kind of be, I don't want to say an ultimate edition, but sort of an improved, expanded edition in terms of we're tweaking the book a little bit. We're putting in, some better art here and there, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's more about it. It's getting it printed so it can be in stores. It's making a little better quality for the paper, for the color and art show up, spacing out the text, getting some art that we really wanted to do. We didn't get done the first time. Maybe adding that GM section a little bit to it. I do think we'll probably take one of the main adventures. I think the first one, I forget the name of it, Rock and a Hard Place, might just be inserted into the book. So when the GM picks it up, they can go, I've got monsters, I've got the book, I've got an adventure. They can kind of just take some of the stuff we did separately at first because they were either stretch goals or add-ons. We didn't know if we'd get to it. Now if we put it in a story, we want some people to walk out with that book and go, as long as they have Savage Worlds, sit down and play it. And while it doesn't really, this was done without any need for the horror companion. You could find great tools in there to help you, but you don't need the horror companion for those that are,
Yeah. So we're removing obstacles between buying the book and gameplay, making it easy as possible to get up and running. So I don't know if this is from FunCon, but this is some amazing Mothman art here.
Yeah. Now, funny story, my wife didn't like that art.
Really? Okay.
Well, she had a different viewpoint of how she thought he should look, which is fine. She did a lot of the research for helping me find some of the monsters and stuff. And so she had her own view on it, and the artist did another thing. And we're like, well, I liked it, so it went in the book.
That's fair. Yeah. And that's one of those cryptids that's been around forever. It's, like Bigfoot. Everyone's got their own idea what it's going to look like. So
Yeah. And the neat thing about it is that's pointed out is by, if you look at the very, very front of the book with the intros written by Mr. Hensley, talked about how he had an idea about the Mothman specifically too, based on some stuff. Yeah, the Revenant art. I love that art.
It looks like it should be on an Iron Maiden album cover. It's really cool stuff.
Would also fit for that, yes.
Yeah. Oh, melee. It's a melee scarecrow. Well, that's cool.
That's just it. There's a regular scarecrow, use a shotgun. There's the one that melee. That again, we could get the art redone. We want to add the art to show the specific each version, even though they're not that different.
Oh wow, that's a creepy piece of art right there, sir.
Yeah, that's we'll make you we'll say hi.
We'll say hi.
And the Wraith.
The Wraith. Anyway, I could spend all night. You got a ton of art in here.
That's a vampire right there.
I was kind of surprised by that, but yeah.
Yeah, we definitely want to get more art of the different vampires in there for sure.
Mm-hmm. It's cool. But yeah, I mean, you've got we haven't even scratched the surface. It's over a 250-page book. There's a lot of cool looking stuff in here. So
hulking zombie, they're great.
Yeah. Ooh, well, man, it looks cool. It looks amazing. And they still got lots of time to go on the Kickstarter, right? We've got 2 weeks left.
Yeah, about 2 weeks. And the big thing is, everybody I'm sure knows this, but if you like this project, if you've already backed the project, or if you want to get more stuff, I mean, the hardest thing for us is indie creators to get the word out there, so if people just share the link, tell their friends, the amount, if 100 people told 10 of their friends, that's 1,000 new people that know about it. I mean, that's advertising we can't buy. And that's how you see, smaller projects like, Star Anvil Studios has come up a bit. We do well with our Secret World stuff, and we'd like to, we want to do more, but the more support we get, the more cool stuff we can do.
Yeah, that is how indie publishers have to roll, because it's, you're competing against these big giant companies, and really your best friend is your backers or your other customers supporting you and spreading the word on, wherever they're on social media to get the word out there. So
highly appreciated, really, honestly. We've had some we've had great support on this one. I mean, 40,000 on 300 and something backers is a fantastic number.
No, it really is. You guys are, and you still got 13 days left, so you're gonna get even higher. So
we hope.
Yeah, this is cool stuff. Well, hey, any closing thoughts before we wrap things up?
First of all, I was like, thanks for having me, and I appreciate all the support of our backers. And if you like what you saw here, go to Drive Through RPG and check out Starbreaker, Star Marines. Lots of we have several adventures for this on there. There's the actual PDF is for sale right now on Drive Through RPG as it is. So you don't have to wait for just to get the book. And the PDF is going to be updated to be current with this. We're not going to say that PDF is too bad and the new one is this. So if you get that, and because Drive-Thru RPG chose to run a Halloween sale, and because we're opted in, you can buy the PDF online for $13.80 right now until the 31st. So
that's
it's like
the best price
$2
possible.
cheaper, you know.
Yeah. So
I
check it
can't
out.
change the Kickstarter price; it's already up there. But
Yeah, once you're locked in, you're locked in.
yeah,
And one last time, folks, tinyurl.com/secretworldprint. If you're listening to us on iTunes or other audio platforms, check it out right now. Today is the 25th of October. You've got 13 more days to jump on the bandwagon. So check it out. So, Brandon, nice to talk to you, sir. And everybody out there, we will catch you next time on Savage BAMF.
thank you.